Hey, what's up everybody? Marlon Lad here. All right, so today we're going to talk about the Netflix original film, How It Ends. So let's get into the storyline. What happens is Kat Graham and Theo James are together. They're having a baby, okay? So for some reason, he goes to Chicago to visit her parents. And I don't know if he's supposed to tell them about the baby or what, but he's intimidated by Forrest Whitaker, which is her dad. And, you know, Forrest Whitaker is this, former military guy. Looks like he was a major. He's got all these accomplishments. He's got a lot of money and all these things. And so there's something that happened with a boat, years ago. And so Theo James has kind of never lived that down. He said he crashed the boat. And anyway, that's not important. What's important is Forrest Whitaker is an imposing figure to Theo James. And Theo James is walking in just acting like a straight scrub, So anyway, so they have dinner. I guess Theo doesn't do or say what he was going to, and tempers flare because Forrest Whitaker is like really acting like a jerk to him. So anyway, he leaves. He goes back to his hotel room. He talks to Kat on the phone, who is still in Seattle, where they're from. And so something happens. This is the next morning. Something happens, and he can hear something because he's talking to her where he can see her. And so something happens on her side. There's a rumble, and she's very scared, and then the line cuts off. He continues to try and call her. She never answers. So he jets to the airport. He had to catch his flight anyway. So when he gets to the airport, all the flights are canceled. And so he's like, what's going on? So then, there's all this news about this is happening here and this is happening there, whatever. Steps outside, there's traffic everywhere. He makes it back to her parents' house. Forrest Whitaker is like, hey, there's something going on. I don't know what it is. I'm going to get my daughter. So Theo's like, hey, shouldn't we wait for another flight? Forrest Whitaker's like, no, that's my daughter. I'm going to get her. If you're a man, you come with me. So Theo's like, yeah, I'm a man. I'll come with you. So that's what the story's about. These two guys, they can't stand each other, have no choice but to tolerate each other on this road trip to try and get back to Seattle to save Forrest Whitaker's daughter, Theo's girlfriend, or fiance. I don't know what she is. Anyway, so that's the storyline. There's all kind of chaos that happens, and this road trip is an adventure because there are roads closed everywhere. There's chaos everywhere, and we don't know if this is a natural disaster or what. So that's the storyline in a nutshell. All right, so the acting was on point. All the actors that I named, Forrest Whitaker, Theo James, Nicole Ari Parker, Kat Graham, they all did a great job. Even some of the peripheral characters did excellent. So acting, there's nothing to see here. There was not a problem. It was really good. That's what kept you really engaged with the story. Now, it was directed by David Rosenthal, and he did an excellent job when it comes to directing because it kept you engaged the whole time. Now, the production value on this film was up there. I mean, they spent a lot of money on this film. I'm telling you, I don't know how much, but it was stellar. It's almost like they should have had more action because the production value was so big. And I mean, they created this world that was kind of the beginnings of sort of a post-apocalyptic place. So it was really, really cool. Now, the story let me down at a lot of different places. I mean, I like the premise of it, but there was too much unbelievable stuff going on. There was too much people not having common sense and not doing the right thing. It's almost like you're in a scary movie. You're like, don't go through that door. And then somebody goes through the door. It's like, what? No, don't even make any sense. Get out of here with that. So I had a problem with that. But everything else I thought was pretty darn good. But story, nah. So on a scale from 1 to 10, I would probably give this a 7. This is the kind of movie that if you were going to rent it at the store, on a DVD or something, it would be perfect because you're not expecting that much from it, and you probably get a lot more than you thought you would. So it's something you can kind of watch at home and be like, that wasn't bad. Now, if it was something that was released in theaters and then you're watching it, you're like, I don't know. But since it was a Netflix original, I thought they did a pretty good job on this one. So anyway, check it out. Let me know what you think. If you've already seen it, what were your thoughts on it? Anyway, it's just my 2 cents. Until next, I am Marlon. Don't forget to subscribe and turn your notifications on, okay? If you like these videos, definitely leave me a thumbs up. So, until next time.